think it's an understatement to say that we're living in challenging times. In some ways, it feels like we've found ourselves in a science fiction movie with some kind of invading force that's trying to outsmart us and me. And that we, as a civilization of like-minded human beings, are trying to find our way to outsmart these strange forces that are basically trying to do us in. None of this is new. It's just the magnitude of it and the social media of it is so massive, and the spread of it is so powerful that it's not something we can ignore. You know, some people will try, but mostly there's a level of drama that's impacted our lives that we have to find some way to interact with. Of course, I'm talking about the COVID experience and the new variant that came into being a week ago or less that we know of. Has a strange science fiction name, which is, you remember the name? Omicron. That's a movie right there. And everything is responding and reacting in dramatic ways. As most of you know who listened to the talk last week, my son and grandson came down with COVID, so suddenly it became very private, personal. Blanche and I did one test after another in all these varying capacities. Proved negative, which was, you know, a good thing, I guess, for the moment. And my grandson has no symptoms, and my son, who did have symptoms, is doing fine. But brings it very close to home. And you look at all of this, you look at the world around you, and you have to kind of figure out, how do I navigate this strangeness, this upheaval, if you will? Do I ignore it, pretend it away, face it head on? Do I bring a lot of fear to the table? Do I bring acceptance to the table? Now, each of us are so remarkably different as human beings that every one of us will have a different response, and maybe a different response every day. We planned a Thanksgiving dinner for 16 people and ended up with 3. And Rudy always said life turns on a dime, and yes, I see that. And you can go into this place inside yourself that goes, why me, God? You know, and get into this craziness that many people embrace. Or you just go, the thing I've been teaching pretty much the last few years, well, you know, take it as it comes, basically, and find your way through whatever is going on. But the key is finding your way. And it's very easy in this time and space to get lost in the world. Some of us have better guidance in our lives, better navigational systems that help us figure things out. But you know, you have to kind of look at where that guidance is coming from. And if it is completely external, let's say the newspaper, media, television, okay. If it is all your mind and your head, and it's based on informational input, okay. But as I've explained many a time in this class, there is a navigational system that bypasses, or let's say, goes deeper than the mind, the brain, and the social contract that we have, and it goes into the space of our heart, and again, deeper yet into our gut, and it just tells you how to navigate what's going on in your life. And there are times where it is impeccable, It's just there, and you just listen to it and go, yep. And you turn left, turn right. Where's the street sign? Oh, there it is. And you make the turn and you get to where you want to go. Other times, the navigational system seems a little bit off. And you have to find something else, something that is a kind of trust. This is going to get me there one way or the other, even though the system seems to be telling me to make U-turns every 2 seconds. Something in you has to go, no, just slow down, get quiet, you will find your way. That ability to find the deepest part of your inner guidance system is really important. And it's really important right now because things are in a kind of disarray. And it's not like life isn't often like that and hasn't often been like that during the course of human history. But when we are at a moment of crisis, which we may be in, maybe you think we've passed it, but now the social media is telling us no, it's returning. How do I go forward? What do I do? How do I train my hand? And the only thing I, as a teacher, friend, cohort, would say is be quiet, go to this place that you have found in yourself that has something we call awareness. It's aware. It knows. It's quiet and it's simple and it knows. And then allow it to tell you move forward, move backward, sit still. I've always said, if it doesn't give you direction, if it doesn't tell you what to do, that's primarily because it doesn't matter. If you don't get directed, do this, do that, do this, do that, and you'll find your way and you'll be fine. But when the moment comes where you really need some kind of inner guidance, and you really need it, sit quietly, get out of your mind, head, social media life, and go inside and find a directive. How do I go from here to wherever is next to go to? And the wonderful thing about a spiritual life, a meditative life practice, is you have a system that works, that will allow you entry point to the deeper directives of your life. And that is an enormous gift. But it involves a commitment. It involves a commitment to your own practice, to your own ability to pay attention, to sit still, to open up, and to allow something greater to inform you of how to move in life. And what I'm discovering right now is that a lot of people are questioning the system. They're questioning everything. It's like, why is life doing this? And what does it mean? And they're getting into distraction, and they're getting into anger, and they're getting into frustration, and all of these things, and telling them to be quiet, simple, sit still. It's like the last thing. They want to be more, figure out what to do. How do I get through this? There's a lot of noise, a lot of barrage of stuff going on. And if ever there was a time for you not to give into that kind of a thing, this is that period. And again, the way to get to a still point, the way to get to the guidance system is quiet. Shut off the mind, shut off the hysteria, and just sit down and make a commitment to doing this. To shift metaphors for a moment, is an old line, it takes two to tango. And in the dance of life, there is you and there is yourself, or something greater, something massive that has created this entire space of being, this vast universe of air and land and water and trees and leaves and food and beauty and other human beings, and it's created all of this. And it is an extraordinary creation. Anybody who looks at it with a clear mind looks at it and goes, wow, this is remarkable. If you are so barraged by the challenges of life, if you are in a state of hysteria or stress or drama or whatever, you will shut down. You will sit on the sidelines and the dance of life will go on, and you will be a wallflower sitting there. Why not me? Or whatever your problem is. Why am I here? What is this all about? This is terrible. When in fact, there is this exquisite space of being that has brought you into it in some phenomenal way, that life itself, that existence itself is not a casual by happenstance experience. It has an enormous amount of creative purpose, if you will. It exists because something wants this to be. And you have been created as a partner in all of this, and you have been invited to the dance. If you engage the dance, if you say, okay, there is a sense in the dance that you are being led. And if you can give up your need to lead and be the follower and be aware of the directives of each move, you will start to feel part of an exquisite ballet company, if you will, a tango experience where you are all together on the dance floor, moving in extraordinary ways, led by someone who knows what they're doing. That someone, that reality that knows how to coach you, how to direct you, how to critique you, how to help you, how to lead you, how to tell you how to go off on your own and come back, swirls you around a little bit, pulls you back in tight. That reality is the thing we need to engage in life. If you are sitting on the sidelines, angry, frightened, pissed off, whatever the thing is that's causing you to go through the rejection of the challenge, it will not help you in the dance. It will not help you in life. It will not help you deal with the invasion of the mutant forces. You are going to face this world on your own in a state of fear and terror and rejection and maybe denial, all these different things. And there you are, unguided, unhelped, unled in this very difficult time. I kind of observe people who engage the dance and people who don't. I observe people who occasionally will go onto the dance floor and want to be part of this. Or I don't know, maybe next week, maybe somewhere down the road. People who just move away from the engagement with this massive things, this incredible thing we're in. And then there are people who commit to it in a really deep and profound way. I will tell you, I don't know that the universe plays favorites, but it really prefers those who engage it. It prefers those who go, let's get on the dance floor. Let's do this. Let's be part of this extraordinary progress of whatever it is that we're in, moving somewhere. And if it's nothing else, it's just about the dance. It's just about the beauty of the movement, of the being together, what it's like to be led, what it's like to be following, what it's like to be held, what it's like to be let go of. All of that stuff that occurs on the dance floor of life is exquisite. So people who choose to sit on the sidelines of that or to pretend that it's not happening, miss out. We just miss out on something remarkable. I understand how distracting challenging periods are for people. I am challenged myself, and I get challenged every day. And when my son and my grandson came down with COVID, it became really personal. When Thanksgiving dinner, just evaporated into 3 people, Blanche and I and my son Ollie. It was as sweet as can be as a dinner, but I really missed the group, the whole. I just missed it. And yet I had to bend and go with that. But it became very personal. And I felt sad, and I felt grief, and I felt things had changed in ways I didn't understand. And I felt this isn't the way it should be. And then there's a part of me that just went, shut up, sit down, enjoy your son, enjoy your wife, enjoy this amazing meal from which we had enough food for 16 people. And we just had the most wonderful Thanksgiving dinner. And I did not have to go into a weeks-long suffering about why me, God, and why did that happen? And the things that people do that create such havoc in their lives. So the thing I've learned about my own spiritual practice over 50 years is it is my salvation. It's what gets me through. I can stop and I can go inside, or I can do this thing where I walk around my house and I'm brought into present tense. I'm brought into the moment, and I am held, and I am supported. I am guided. I am loved. I am shown how to move on the dance floor. I am reminded regularly that there is something vast and beyond our comprehension that brought us into this, that made this possible, that can lead us through it. And if you are willing to give into it and commit to it, it will work its wonders on you. Here's the problem. It wants your full commitment. It really wants your engagement. The universe is reaching out to you endlessly, saying, come, be part of the dance, be part of this. Feel the love, feel the care, feel that whatever it is, it went to an amazing amount of trouble, billions of years, maybe eternal time, to make you happen. And I know that's like, oh yeah, right, sure, feeling, but your existence, your manifestation, your temporary manifestation is the result of some massive effort on something's part. Whatever you want to call it, whatever you name it, whatever you think it might be, here it is. It's a world of duality, meaning positive, negative, good and evil, light and dark. It has all of that. They play out in dramatic ways, and sometimes with great complexity. And a lot of the times we cannot figure out the why of it or the how of it or the meaning of it. But if you have been given somewhere this blessed introduction to being quiet and still, and knowing that something can touch you deeply and guide you through all of the confusions of light and dark and good and evil, that it can give you a directive, it can give you a sense of being held and comforted and taken care of in a period of great distress. That's a great gift. But I will tell you, it pays a lot of attention to those who pay a lot of attention to it. If you are turned away, if you are looking at why me, God, and all the other things that are happening out there, and worrying and and hiding in books and hiding in TV and hiding in whatever place, it may knock on your door and it may try to engage you, it may try to lift you up, but if you're not a partner in this, if you're on the sidelines, you won't be in the dance. You just won't be in the dance. It takes 2 to tango. You've got to bring yourself to the dance floor. You've got to say yes to this process. You have to make yourself available to it. You have to make yourself available to it so it knows how much you care. You guys took a train up here from New York City to sit and hear these words when you didn't have to make that trip, because these words are available cheap and easy online. And not to dismiss any of you who didn't make a train trip here, but I'm telling you, the universe understands that. You drive 3 hours from Boston, you guys drive an hour and a half. I understand. I want you to just understand, I'm not trying to get anybody in this room, but you have to let the universe know you are serious about this. You are willing to take the action that makes it know it can work with you. You're a partner. You're a dancer on the dance floor. This tango is going to be spectacular. And it really takes that. And, all I can do, and I think a lot of people are starting to feel, listening to these talks, that they don't want to hear all this stuff. or they, it's like, oh my God, why doesn't he shut up? Or why don't we just sit here and talk bliss and joy and do that? And like I say, week to week, there are people who do that. Go, listen to bliss and joy wherever you want. But mostly there is a dynamic here, and the dynamic is engagement, and it is a kind of work, and it's a kind of bringing yourself to the dance floor and saying, I'm here. And I promise you, if you do that, the universe will take you in its arms and you will become this incredible dancer. You will have the most beautiful time on the dance floor, no matter what. Even if your Thanksgiving is destroyed, even if people get sick, you will dance this exquisite dance. And some dances are filled with pain and anguish and all of that, but they have a beauty to them. They have a beauty because they're part of this unbelievable creation that we find ourselves in. And you don't have to just dance a happy-go-lucky dance. Some dances have great flavor and great depth and great drama to them, but they're dances of incredible beauty, and you can be a beautiful partner in this if you want. And if you don't want, that's, everyone announces to the universe pretty much day by day what they want, how much they want to engage, how much they want to be part of this. If you want to engage and be part of it, show up. If you don't want to engage and be part of it, don't show up or dabble. There's a lot of dabblers. But figure out who you are, what you want, how much you're willing to make the effort to do it. Let them know, or let it know, or let yourself know how committed you are, how much you want what is available, how much, as life is difficult as it is in love with you, it cares about you, and it will dance with you, and you will be the most unbelievable partner if you get on that dance floor and you really commit to this journey. So, thank you all for showing up today. I will tell you, there are days where I have no desire to show up myself, that having class is like, oh my God, I got to do this again. And then there's this larger thing that says, shut up. This is what you do. It's not about you. Get out there and do this thing. And then the minute I do it, the minute I sit down, honestly, the minute I sit here, I am filled with the beauty of it. And it's so grateful and so in love with all of you who show up, because this is not a dance one person does by themselves. It's a commitment to each other and to this larger force that really guides us into it. So thank you for getting on the dance floor today, for being here. I love you guys so much, and I really, really am grateful that you're here. And keep it going. I'll do my best. I'm an imperfect version of a dance instructor, but I do pay attention, and I'll do my best to keep my side of the bargain. Thank you for doing your side. Questions? Any dance steps you guys need to know? Anything out there that I'm forgetting?
I have a question.
Okay.
As I continue my work, my inner work, and my commitment to being a loving human being, I, out of necessity, grief has come up as that I was very successful at hiding away when I was a kid. And it's now up. And how do I be in relationship with that needs work like that?
Bob, I've talked about this a lot recently because I'm going through the same thing. Old things that I thought were resolved through my having grown up in life were not resolved. They were just pushed further and further back into the past. And then as I started working more and more and dealing with present tense issues and surrendering and opening and in a sense not reacting to a lot of present tense things, the old stuff started to appear. And I was shocked. And I think I've had a lot to say about this, that a lot of my own drama right now, and it's really drama, and grieving and sadness is from when I was 2 years old and 1 year old, and even in the crib. I am feeling stuff coming up that I thought was fully resolved, and it is not resolved. But I can now bring to the table the 78 years of work, of being in the world, and 50 years of plus meditating. I can start to bring that into the very, very difficult, intense space of my childhood being, my little infantile being. And I have to work there with this larger intelligence, this larger wisdom, and it has to do with comfort and love. But I have never experienced so many layers of grief, so many layers of sadness, emotionality, ever in my life as I am now. And I'm going, but I'm spiritual. I've been doing this all my life. Why am I having all of these ridiculously strange, uncomfortable sensations? But I am, and I am saying without full knowledge, other than my own experience, that we may all go through this. And if we do go through it, one can bring this larger gift of awareness and partnership with something greater into going down into the core unresolved issues of our life and giving them attention, clarity, love, making them aware that we're there and that we are there to help and to resolve these deep inner issues. And it's its own practice, but it takes a mature spiritual life to go back into the core stuff, the real core stuff, and make peace with that space. And that's what I'm dealing with. It's a total surprise to me. I had no idea that I was going to be facing that kind of stuff. I thought, I've taken care of all of it because I'm an adult and I'm spiritual and I'm open and I've got all this kind of, unquote, quote unquote wisdom, along life. That little kid didn't understand any of that. That little boy self, just knows that nobody's picked him up when he's crying. Nobody's there to give milk when he's hungry. And he doesn't know how to get the attention when people don't always come when he asks for it. That's really powerful. And if you can bring the insight of your adult self and comfort that little child yourself, you are taking care of your essential nature. And at some point, you will get to the place of going, and the work will be done. I mean, done to the best that I understand it can be done. I don't know that it's ever fully done because I think the universe is ultimately a singularity, and all of our stuff in dealing with ourself is what the universe is dealing with. All of us as manifestations all come out of the exact same seed, the exact same infantile, childlike truth that doesn't understand even what this is. I mean, I may be wrong about that, but it's so massive. And I think it all comes out of something, and we're all here exploring that something together. And the little bit of wisdom that we may achieve as a group, as a collection of beings, is what it's looking for. So when you ask that question, and I ask that question in myself, we're helping everyone else who's starting to go back in their old age moments to these core elements that don't make sense in old age. Why is an old age person feeling the grief of a 1 year old? I don't know. I mean, does everybody have that? I don't know. But you're voicing it, I'm voicing it, and I think more and more people will find that. And so here we are addressing it. And so when people arrive at that moment, which if they live long enough, I think they will start to look more deeply into this space and bring this collective awareness to it that will comfort and engage and sympathize with this suffering and this grief. And we're all doing it together. Don't help at all. Yeah.
Bruce?
Yes.
Yes. It's been my experience also that when grief comes up, sometimes it's personal, sometimes it's collective, but if you really, really allow yourself to feel it completely and dive into it and let your heart break, the heart heals with more depth and more breadth and more compassion every time.
I am totally on board with that. Absolutely. That is my experience as well. I will tell you that the first instinct for me is to turn away and run from going toward the grief. But there are times where I realize there's nowhere else to go. It's the only thing. And when I go through it, it transforms me over and over and over. And I think, that I have the answers and I've done it, and then a whole new layer of something shows itself. So, I don't know that it's ever exactly done, but the process is the right process. And I get it. And I think we're all facing it existentially somewhere along the line. And maybe this class or something you hear along the way, will tell you, go toward it, not away from it. And that would be a benefit, a great benefit. But thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Wise warriors here. Good luck, everybody. I'm sorry. I so worry nowadays that addressing the challenge and the dark elements of the world around us is just going to put people off. And forgive me if it does. And please go to the sunlight if you can go there. But this is a really demanding time. Work has to be done. Those of you who've been working a long time, take it more seriously. Get committed to this in a way that maybe you have not before. Be willing to do whatever it is that's required to get to the core sort of embrace of your own inner self. That's what this is about. Thank you. See you
Thank
guys,
you, Bruce.
you guys in a couple weeks here, and I'll see the California group next week.